chụp bên sừng ở đây nè. Nhìn mình thấy đẹp quá. Thật ra nhiều nói Florida coi với nhiều tử ban nhiều với nhiều thành phố mình còn chưa đi hết đâu mà đẹp lắm, sạch sẽ đẹp ha.
Cũng đang cày gần tới rồi.
Đi đâu đó? Hôm nay đi đâu à? Hôm nay đi đâu à? Hôm nay đi đâu à? Thấy bây giờ là Tuấn Flynn đang ở đây, đang nói chuyện rất là gần gũi với mọi người luôn á. Anh luôn. Anh đây là
Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a few minutes. Army, how many? So everybody have a seat, and maybe I just ask of all the veterans. All the veterans, stand up, please. Becky, you're a veteran. My brother-in-law. Everybody want to stand up? Okay. Thank you guys and gals, thank you ladies and gentlemen for your service. I met a couple in the back earlier. So, for the Flynns, there's only a few, but there's a few, right? We fight like a Flynn. So I want the Flynns to stand up. My sister Mary's here. I want Leslie to stand up, Jack to stand up. Dougie, stand up, Dougie, come on, man. There you go. I'm passing in my brother Joe. And right up. Duh. I'll never get that back. And my beautiful wife. Okay. So we for a long time we used this phrase, fight like a Flynn, and we decided in the last, probably the last 2 months or so, what we're trying to do is we're trying to give people options, right? We're trying to give people, because we go around this country and we do this, for a lot of people that were here earlier that I spoke to have been part of our Reawaken America movement. I call it a movement. Yep, it's a great thing. We're about to have another event down in Miami in about 2 weeks. We've got another one out in Tulare, California in December, and then we're going to go month after. We're going to go straight right into the election. We're going to probably go do about 6-7 months in a row into the kind of the key states. Jump to Michigan, Wisconsin. Probably back to Georgia, maybe go out to Arizona. That's a movement that we have. But what we do and what we're trying to do tonight for everybody here, when we created this thing, this idea, and and really the fight like a Flynn phrase really came from the American people because of all the turbulence and turmoil and persecution that my entire family went through. So it wasn't just people come up to me and they say, "I'm so sorry for what happened to you." And I look, and I am very humbled by that. But it really came after every single aspect of who we are. I mean, my brothers and sisters. I'm one of 9 kids. My wife's one of 7. We've got, I think, over 50 or so nieces and nephews. We've got uncles, aunts, the whole round. And this group of people that we're up against, they don't care about that. Okay, you see that, and you see what they're doing to President Trump right now. So. Part of what we're trying to do is we're trying to say to you, look, and this is my big thing, when I say local action equals the national impact. So I can't, we'll have a great time tonight. This is going to be a wonderful night. We have some really talented people. You've already seen a few of them come up here. And we're just trying to expose to this community, and we decided to start right here at home, right? Venice, Florida. Yeah, exactly. And I want to just say thank you guys, thank everybody. And I know Alfie's here. I know there's a bunch of people that came up from Naples, right? Who came up from Naples? Yeah. Wow. There you go. I love it. We got people from over on the East Coast and some folks from up in Hillsborough County and just other parts of the state. And I know we have some folks that came in from other states. But I want to give people options because not everybody has the talent and skills to be able to do the kinds of things that I can do, or some of these people that can do. But you have a talent and you have a skill. You just got to decide how to use it. Because the destiny of this country is going to be whatever you decide to do, not what I decide for you to do. Okay? It's whatever you decide to do. It's super important, and you think about that as we go forward here. We just expose you to some things, and you're going to hear the next guy coming up here is a great patriot, great American, Rogan O'Hanley, and Joe will introduce him. I mean, there's people out there at the national level that are going to fight. And we are going to fight however we can, in this process that we're dealing with right now. And I use the phrase, guard the vote. When I say guard the vote, that doesn't mean, get out the vote. It means like if you're from a state, and we're okay here, we're not great here. So I put out a thing today to Ron DeSantis, if you saw him on the other night or last night, on TV, it's like, hey, get back home here, run this state. I like him. I think he's a fine man, but get back home. Let's let's figure out not just what we have to do in Florida, but what we have to do for this country. Okay, there's so many things at risk. This country's at risk. You know, it took Elon Musk, you know, finally to go down to the border, and if you saw that, if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. Because at least he says, you know, but what was a little bit surprising to me about Elon was that he was like acting, at least from my perspective, you know, he was asking questions like he just didn't know about this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, man, and he's a pretty switched on guy. So, local action. You know, if you can't be part of some national movement, then create something at the local level and make it part of a national movement. We have women fighting for America, we have women for liberty, we have moms for America, you know, and I mean, we have all these women, and a couple of things, and I'm only going to take a few minutes right now. There's a lot of people that we have to thank for setting up these. You know, many of you probably met Ashton, right? Ashton's probably hiding in the back. Ashton's wonderful. You know, Melissa, those two young ladies, they help me on a daily basis to kind of get through the day. But we have about, I think, 40 or 50 volunteers, mostly women, and I really appreciate every volunteer that we have. Also, Dorian's probably on the sidelines there, or maybe back there trying to get something done. Many of you might know Dorian, who runs this place. These public places, they don't want events like these. They don't want events like these. So, you know, good for them for standing up, having a backbone, and being able to do an event like this. So thank you, Dorian. And Cafe Venice, my brother Joe frequents that all the time. They're back there doing the catering and such.
Best martinis in Venice.
Yeah, that's right. You know. And then our vendors. So all this kind of stuff takes time, and you know, and it comes at a cost and all that kind of stuff. I really want to just say thank you for you know, giving this and giving us consideration and really thinking about, you know, I'm going to go check this thing out, because this is it's a Fight Like a Flynn pack. This is not a pack about helping somebody run for office. This is about saving this country and expanding the voices of every American, of everyday American citizens.
Yes.
That's what this is about. And I am absolutely, and you know, looking at my sister over here, my wife knows, my brothers know. I am absolutely resolved to doing everything that we can possibly do to get Donald Trump back into office.
Yeah! Woo! Yes! Woo! You got it! Woo!
Yeah.
No!
You know, and I used to, you know, in the 2016 campaign, which I rode with him hard in that 2016 campaign to help him win the presidency at that time. You know, I used to get up in front of 10,000, 15,000, 25,000 people and introduce him as the most imperfect guy you were going to vote for President of the United States.
Yes!
And people would go crazy, because he is, like we all are, right? I mean, if you think that you're perfect, you're in the wrong place. You know? So we have to recognize what we need. Okay, what we need is we need somebody who has warrior instincts. Okay, we need somebody who, and frankly, it's not like this guy hasn't already proven himself in a position, and I could be his worst enemy, and I could be the most vindictive guy for what I had to go through. But I knew that this was something that we probably, you know, for this country, as I look back, and my buddy Mike Lindell always talks about all these miracles, you know, all these things that happened in our lives. Maybe this was meant to be. Maybe this was meant to be. So people like me, people like you, people like the rest of America could wake up and realize that we have to stop being apathetic about our political system. Some gentleman earlier tonight told me about the off-cycle primary elections that are coming up, because he was talking to a group earlier back in the back, and they didn't know that, I think it's the 5th of March. 5th of March is the primary in this state, and that's the big Tuesday, right? But there's a lot of off-cycle elections, and we don't even pay attention to them in this country because we're apathetic. We've gotten lazy. Now, over the last year, and I see this more and more across this nation, people are like starting to realize, you know, holy shit, this is getting bad. Excuse my Irish, but this is getting bad, you know? And one of the things that a great veteran, wheelchair veteran, great guy, his nickname is Tip. From his wheelchair, he rises up from his wheelchair. He's a left-handed golfer. He shoots a 77. So all you golfers out there, quit complaining. So he told me the other day, we were joking at this event that we did for veterans up in New England. And he said, you know, Revelations, and I'm not a big Bible person. Every time I've talked about the Bible, I've screwed it up. But he says Revelations, right? He says it's really, to remember Revelations, you just remember three things. It's really hard. It's going to get worse, but God wins. And I'm like, wow. So the whole book of Revelations in like 10 seconds, right? It's hard. It's really hard right now, folks. This is hard. This is exhausting. But we have to do this. That means, you know, my big point to you, to every audience that I talk to, it's not about, you know, coming in here, and I want you to have a great night today. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun. You're going to see one of the best comedians in the country. We're going to have a lot of fun. But this is actually about the country. The bigger issue is about the country and the direction that the country's going. And so don't think that tomorrow morning that these people in Washington, D.C., to include the Uniparty or rhinos or whatever you want to call them, they're not going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, you know what, we've really screwed the American people, so let's turn on the energy spigots, let's close the border, you know, let's get our military off of this critical race theory nonsense, let's start acting like America. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. They are going to double and triple down. That's what they're going to do. That's why I say it's hard and it's going to get harder. Okay, because we have a responsibility as American citizens to be able to understand what it is that's happening in our country and then do something about it. Thank God we have the Constitution. Thank God we have the Bill of Rights. The Bill of Rights in this country, are promises that we make to each other. They are promises that we make to each other. And those promises are fulfilled in the Constitution of the United States. To each one of us, the whole idea about life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Thank God the founders took the time, and they didn't do this over a 3-day weekend. They did this over like 20, 30 years, actually 2 centuries if you really study history. But over about 20 or 30 years. And then when they finally came together, they argued quite a bit. And when they argued about the different things that we're able to operate within these days, the freedoms that we have, I mean, it's amazing that they got it as right as they did. And so here we are roughly 250 years later, and now we're in one of those cycles, one of those historical cycles, and this does feel a bit of a revolution, and it's a type of revolution where we now have to wake up, stand up, speak up, step up, whatever, get involved in our communities. You can do it. If you have, like one lady told me, she knew I was talking about her on a podcast, and I'll stop here in a second. I was on a podcast a while ago, big one, and this is like 2 years ago. And I said, you know, this woman, during all the persecution that my family and I went through, she gave me everything. She would send me envelopes, and in the envelopes would be like 25 cents. Sometimes she'd send $1, and that's what she would send. And I said, and I'm on the podcast talking about this woman, and I said, geez, this woman who had nothing gave me everything. Gave me everything. But what she told me, she called me up, because I still have her. I had her number, like, because she was just such a wonderful person. Used to send letters and stuff, and my wife knows who I'm talking about. And she called me up after the podcast because she was listening. And she goes, don't you ever say that I have nothing. And she, like, you know, ripped me a new one, boy. And I was like, wow, you know. 1, she was paying attention. 2, she schooled me on what each one of us has. She said to me, even though I might have nothing in terms of financial wealth or resources, because she really didn't. She really didn't. She goes, I can always just say a prayer for you. So I tell people, yeah, that's right. And there's nothing wrong with that, you know. But my old man, my father used to say, there's no atheist in a foxhole, right? And for all the people that are around my age, you know, you always say, my old man taught us, the older I get, the smarter my father becomes. Write this one down, it's too dark. This will be on video. The older I get, the smarter my father becomes. Right, got a bunch of young kids out here that's you know, I said to a kid earlier, a 14-year-old boy, you know, I said, it's forced family fun, isn't it, being here tonight? His mom's forcing him to be here to, you know, to do something. So we grabbed him, and it's a great young man, and we had him come back in the back and introduce him to some of the rap stars who he knows about, right? You know him. I said, you know Forgiato Blow? Yeah, here he is right here. Great, great. Stand up. Stand up. I mean, 14. I have a grandson who's 14. So anyway, local action, national impact. If you know, I was with Kimberly Fletcher last Saturday night up in Omaha. Kimberly Fletcher's running Moms for America since 2004, and nobody, but she says she's like maybe this tall, beautiful lady, got a clan of kids, but been homeschooling her whole life. She's been doing this thing for a national program for like since 2004. Nobody listened to her, and then all of a sudden, we all just, you know, the country starts waking up because we go through this rigged election. Right? I can say that's First Amendment, right? I can say that. It was rigged. Plenty of evidence. You know, these guys, somebody will call me a domestic terrorist, right? So, that organization, I use her because we do a lot of work around the country to flip school boards, right? We can't have this stuff in these school boards. We cannot. If we do anything, now I'm at, you know, sort of my generation, which, you know, I look around the room and probably, you know, half the room is my generation. And then you have, you know, our sons and daughters, and then you have young men like you, right? I was going to say babies like you because I think of you as a baby, but you're not. You're a young man. So we have young men, that sort of that generation, right? Grandchildren. Maybe some in here have great-grandchildren. My point is that this generation is the generation that now must stand up. Our founders, are like average age, they were in their late 20s. And there's a few of them that were a little bit older, but they were young men. And they created something that was beautiful. And now we were given this on a silver platter, folks. We've been given this country on a silver platter. Everybody does fine, everybody does great in their lives. Now what we have to do is we have to take that thing and shine it up a little bit. We shine it up by getting involved, by deciding what we are going to do. Again, the destiny of America is whatever you decide to do. So we're going to do it for these young kids. That's what we're here for. Okay, God bless you all. God bless America. Have a great evening tonight.
All right. Quick admin announcement.
I can do it better. And so I started an account that night, DC Drano, which stands for Draining the DC Swamps. That one kind of aged well, it's a pretty big problem. And I remember I got like 200 followers the first day, just by posting memes while I was at work. We give a round of applause to the Venice PD for being here tonight. So for the people who was asked to speak here, hey, you want to speak at General Flynn's event? Yes, that's an honor. Thank you. My only request is that I not speak after General Flynn. Him and President Trump. I have a feeling I don't have to worry about that second one. My name is Rogan O'Hanley. Some of you might know me better by my rap name, DC Drano. And General Flynn talked about local action, and that is perfect because that's what I want to talk about too, so we're aligned. A lot of you may or may not know this, but I was actually an entertainment lawyer in Hollywood. Can you imagine that? DC Drano in Florida was a Hollywood entertainment attorney. As you might expect, I was not able to express my views. Now, unlike certain people running for president, I've actually voted Republican my entire life. That was a big. He doesn't like me very much. Feelings are mutual.